Hi everyone, it's me, it's Heather, and it's Yom Tov to you today. It's a beautiful Sunday, a lovely day outside. Haven't been out yet myself, but been busy. It's in the Jewish religion, we've been celebrating Pesach, which is Passover. So as you can imagine, I've been really busy with that, so that's why I haven't been able to come along and put out a video before now. I've just been, super busy. But I want to wish everybody a very happy Easter. And, I hope that everybody is stuffing themselves with chocolate today. I don't celebrate Easter myself, but I've had a bar of chocolate. So, fine. Anybody should have a bar of chocolate whenever they want one. Doesn't matter what kind of day it is. Because I believe that chocolate is a great healer. It can raise your mood. It can give you a boost. I know for our wee ladies, at certain times of the month, we need, a chocolate fix. So chocolate's lovely. Who doesn't like chocolate? It doesn't matter whether it's white chocolate, milk chocolate, Belgian, dark. It makes no difference. Not keen on dark chocolate though, mind, I have to say. It can be a little bit bitter for me. But oh yes, I love chocolate. But we're not going to get into that now. That's another video entirely. Things are getting a bit exciting. At the time of filming, I am 2 subscribers away from being 1,000. If I was blown away before, it's nothing to how I feel now. I'm sort of at the point now where I'm very happy, obviously, but I'm sort of nervously excited, but more erring on the nervous. And I know this is probably going to sound completely crazy to you. Sorry, my throat's been awful today. I've got this thing in my head that the bigger I get, it's going to be harder for me to get round everyone. And I want to continue being able to reach out to every single person who comments. And that is getting harder and harder for me to do. Excuse me, I must have a drink for this. Excuse me. That really does bother me. It worries me. And I am truly terrified that I will disappoint you, let you down. I've always said I would be there for you. I mean, I must admit, I've got health issues, which can, keep me away from the internet for a while. I've got pretty severe fibromyalgia, so that can keep me away. The lymphedema can keep me away. The problems I've got with my spine can really keep me away. But when I'm in touch with you all, it gives me such a buzz, and I get such a really great feeling from it. And you have no idea how much I am enjoying the journey of building up our safe haven. And I don't know, is that what you would like to call it rather than a YouTube channel? Because this to me, it's grown more than just, I've got a channel on YouTube. This is grown bigger than me, because there are so many people now involved. And I found that some of the lovely people are coming back and saying to me, I'm so glad you've made this safe haven, or just use the word haven, or they've said, I feel safe here. That is about the greatest gift that you could give me, is saying that, being here makes you feel this way. And I'm so glad for the other people who are now starting to come forward to connect with other people. Instead of just directly talking to me, you're now starting to talk to each other. And this is what I really want most of all, is for you to start talking to each other, so that when somebody makes a comment, you know, I can't force you to do it, obviously. I mean, everybody's free to do what you want to do. You know, I believe in autonomy and freedom to do whatever you want to do here, as long as we're always respectful. Remember that, and nice to each other. It would be wonderful just to be able for you to reach out to each other. So if someone's having a bit of a rough time, if some of you could say, you're not alone, it's okay, we are here for you, talk to us here, you know, think something like that. We can do that without having a heavier involvement, if that makes any sense. And I mean, I have noticed real friendships being born from the comments under YouTube, you know, videos. I see people saying, hi, how are you? How you doing? How's the kids? And you think, oh, so, you know, they know each other, and they'll say, oh yeah, been chatting, you know, commenting on each other's things for years. And, you know, and I think that's a lovely thing. And I would love that to happen with us. Do you think you could help me make that happen, please? Because that is something that I would love, love, love to happen. And you know, I've always said it's not about the numbers. The numbers are great, but it's about the message. That here is a place that you can come and just be yourself. And nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to laugh at you. You just come here, and if you do have an issue with your mental health, if you've got depression, anxiety, it doesn't matter what, you can come here, and this place can be a source of comfort to you. And that would mean the world to me. And this channel's really taken a weird sort of like tangent to how I ever imagined it would be, you know. I thought I'd just come on here and rabbit on about my day, and people might be interested, they might not be interested. And I remember saying to my family, if I get any more than 50 subscribers, I will be the luckiest woman in the world. And they agreed with me. And actually said, yeah. And it's because of you that I am, as I say, time of filming, 2 subscribers away from 1,000. I've only been going since New Year's Eve, and it's only just, it's over halfway through April. That's mad, isn't it? That's craziness. It is to me anyway. But I am not taking the credit for this. It is down to all of you coming, you know, and I just think you are the best. You know, I hear YouTubers say that to their fans all the time. Oh, you're the best, but I've got a big cynical part in me, you see, who sits back and thinks, yeah, but every time I comment on your video, you don't like it, and you never comment back, and so, yeah, I wonder how much I really do mean to you. And I always swore that if I ever had a channel, you know, that I would reach out and answer every single person. Now, I know it's taking me longer than it used to, and I made a tweet recently. Sorry, that's a notification on my phone. I thought I'd turn the sound off. Where I'd said I would need 12 to 14 hours straight just to sit to answer all the comments. And that's just absolutely true. You know, and I can't sit that long. I would have to take constant breaks, and it would take 2 days, 3 days, 4 days. But I know that you all know it's not just because I can't be bothered. And it's not that. You know that if I can physically come back and do it, I will. And there's family life. You know, there's stuff I would love to tell you that I'm online 20 hours a day, but I'm not. So you got to fit all different kinds of factors in. So thank you. Again, thank you. And you do all mean the world to me. I'm sorry, stumbling again. You're used to that. You do all mean the world to me. And I've got to tell you, I've got rocks out there pushing and pushing for me. I mean, that lady, what can I tell you? She is a dynamo. You know, she's the empress of YouTube. She's an absolute dynamo, that woman. She never gives up on a person, never. And there's my friend Jo on Mumsy Musings, Josephine. She's going out of her way for me. You know, there are so many people that I've got a friend. I think there's 3 girls I know called Danielle. So all 3 of you, hi, and thank you for, you know, telling people about me. I'm very, very grateful. Last week's video, I was thanking a whole load of my friends and I forgot Elle. So I got ribbed for that, as you can only imagine. Right, I'm 11 minutes into this video already. I haven't spoken to you about this. And I haven't got round to the point of today's video. Right, I've been asked for quite a while now, when are you going to do something on the paranormal? And I thought, yep, I'll get that done. And then something has cropped up. It's a new word. And I've ended up making a video on something else. But I was watching a movie last night called Insidious. I don't know how many of you have actually seen that. But I love ghosty things. I love anything to do with the paranormal. But I particularly love movies about ghosts. I'm not so much into horror and the likes of Saw and things like that. I don't do gory horror. I can't. If it's a ghosty horror, I can deal with that. But anything stronger than that, no. That's too much for me. But my go-to programs are Ghost Adventures, The Dead Files, you know, any YouTube channels like Rob Gavigan, Matthew Santoro, the Foreman brothers of, what's it called? I forget what it's Living Dead Paranormal. That's what they're called. But they're Rocky, Josh and Sean Foreman. I idolise those guys. I think they're from, it's either Virginia or Kentucky, or is it Idaho or Illinois? I'm sorry. I apologise profusely to my American friends. My American geography is absolutely abhorrent and I'm very, very sorry. But anyway, they don't ask for a penny of payment and they've been going on for over 10 years helping people with hauntings, possessions, things like that. So that's the sort of genre of things I like to watch. So anyway, getting back to watching Insidious last night. And I know that in most of my videos now, I do focus on mental health. But I wanted to try, and I just want to make this about food for thought. It's us talking about a particular topic, and I want to make it very, very clear. I am not trying to make light of the likes of schizophrenia or bipolar or anything like that. You know, I would never do that. I'm not making light of it. But when you've had people who have turned out to either be psychic or they can see spirits, they can, you know, give evidence of life after death, the common theme you hear with them is, you know, I was terrified of telling anybody in case they thought I was crazy. They would think I was lying. They would think I was delusional. They would say I was hallucinating. And, you know, I mean, I'm going to tell you now, I don't have schizophrenia. I don't have bipolar. I have depression and I have anxiety. I'm also worrying a bit about, am I starting to get a bit agoraphobic because I'm so housebound now. Sometimes the thought of going out actually makes me feel ill. But we'll come to that another time. But I have heard spirits. I have heard noises. And I've had evidence of things moving, being broken, things going missing. So, and the thing is, I'm coming from a standpoint of totally believing in mental health, but I'm also a big believer in the paranormal. And I do believe in ghosts and spirits. So, I'm watching this movie, and I'm not going to give you any spoilers. If you've seen it and you enjoyed it, brilliant, love it myself. I've got the other 3 movies to follow. If you haven't seen it, and if ghost thing aren't your thing, that's fair enough, then please bear with me. But if this is something that you're interested in, it's just food for thought. Now, I just made a few notes, and, you know, when I was watching the movie, and the thing is, you've got, you know, there's a common trope, a cliche, that where you've got, say, a husband and a wife, or boyfriend and girlfriend, or what have you, and they're sharing an apartment or a house, and either one of them sees a ghost or hears a ghost or something like that, and the other partner doesn't believe it, right? You're crazy. You're hallucinating. You're delusional. You're losing your mind. I can't hear these things. It's not real. You know, what you're seeing's all in your head. That sort of stuff. And I'm not denying that it can make you doubt your own sanity. But I'm not automatically saying that the minute you hear a voice or somebody whispering or somebody trying to tell you something, that you are automatically schizophrenic. Because that's not how it works. It is logically possible for spirits to gain the energy they need to communicate with us. There have been technology made where it's possible for spirits to harness electricity and use that for energy, so they can use that to talk to us. So, I mean, that's something that, you know, that we could explore. I was just making some notes, actually, and, you know, the things I was coming out with, and I wanted to think about, well, there are several signs that you know you're being haunted, and you can link all of these to mental health. Now, you can start off by, say if you've seen a ghost. Now, I don't know how many of you have seen a ghost. I have seen a shadow person. I have. It's in my home now, and it was in the previous 2 homes that I had. So it's obviously followed me. Whoever has followed me, I know is a male energy. And he loves putting the kettle on and off. He's forever switching the kettle on. I'll get my words out yet. He's forever switching the kettle on and off. And I wish he wouldn't, because it's, you know, it's using up the electric. I mean, yes, I understand. If he's going to get energy from a boiling kettle, then surely he could make me a cup of tea while he's there. You know, ghosts are just so thoughtless, aren't they? Selfish. There's my tea bags are there. My sugar, you know, my sweeteners are there. They can go and transport the milk out of the fridge, boil the kettle, make Heather a cup of tea, and then stand over and go on the back of my neck. What can I tell you? Sorry, I was just about to take a drink there. Now, the other thing is obviously hearing noises, hearing knockings, hearing bangs, hearing people talking. You could be standing outside of a room and you could hear one person or 2 or 3 people talking, and you could go into that room and there's nobody there. Now, if you're a follower of the ghost sort of TV shows that I watch, and I know there'll be an awful lot of people who aren't believers who will say it's all fake, they're doing it for views. You know, I'm not there. I don't know. If the Ghost Adventures crew came out to me tomorrow and said, everything we have done to date has been faked, I'll be honest with you, I'd be absolutely not for 6. And I don't think I could ever watch that stuff again. I just don't think I could. I'd feel completely and utterly betrayed by them. Because I am a believer, and I started believing in this stuff from being about the age of 12 or 13. When I started reading ghost stories then. So, yes, I understand that people are going to think it's going to be fake, but you know how I approach my attitude to ghosts and spirits is, first off, I'll look for the rational. So if I hear a knock, I've got 3 cats. They could be bumping out things around in the rooms. So I check on that. I check to see if my family's moving anything around or they've knocked anything over. Things like open windows, open doors, drafts, that they can cause things to happen like that. So you've got to look for the rational first, because the last thing that I want to do and come over is as an absolute bloody idiot and a fool. I don't want to appear foolish in front of people. You know, I don't want to say, oh, there's a ghost, and, you know, and there I've heard knocking on the wall, and, oh, look, and there's all the packets are lying all over the floor, and they weren't like that a minute ago. For somebody to say, your cats have just had a mad half hour and they've been trashing the place. It's not a ghost. You've got 3 messy, mad cats. And then for me to go, oh, okay, slinks away, that sort of thing. No, I'm not prepared to make a fool out of myself. If I think there is a rational explanation for something, then I'll take that rational explanation and think no more of it. But I have experienced myself of getting, you know, just sitting here in the kitchen and all the doors will be shut in my hallway. The windows will have been shut, and the most beautiful smell of fresh cut flowers will just surround me. And I'll actually feel the hairs on my arm go up, and I'll feel this sort of frisson of just this, like that. And I've come to take that as a very dear friend of mine who passed away 21 years ago. And I believe that to be her, because it never changes. It's always the same sign. I've also, now keeping in mind, when I've been in a room and I haven't smoked, I've been really good, I'll get a waft of cigarette smoke. And again, you've got the same situation, but I don't know where that's coming from. I'll get pipe smoke. Now I know that's my friend's husband who's also passed on. But he's come back to occasionally say hello to me. So I know that's him. But there are certain smells, like I'll get coffee sometimes, or fresh made toast, things like this. And I've spoken to other people who have said that they get smells and certain things, and then they can put that to a deceased family member or a friend who's no longer with us. So if nobody's just recently made a piece of toast, if nobody's just made a cup of coffee, if there are no flowers in the home, stuff like that, if you can rule out all those things, what are you left with? Something that you can't quite explain, you know? I've been, there's this thing about sensory overload where you can feel someone sort of touching your hair or maybe touching your face slightly, or, you can feel as if you're sort of being hugged, that sort of thing. And it can send, like I said before, it gives you this tingle sort of just all over. If you get cold air, if one side of you or both sides of you go absolutely freezing cold, and nobody's opened the freezer door, nobody's opened the fridge door, even if it's a cold day and you know what to expect, you've got the heating on, why all of a sudden have you got a cold gust of, breath going on the side of your face, on your hand, down the back of your neck? Where's that come from? So you think about all these things: seeing, hearing, touching, smelling. You can have lucid dreaming, very vivid dreaming of, you can be dreaming about people who have passed away, and you can hear them talking to you. Some people say that they can see their mouths moving, but they can't hear the words. Or they can say, I dreamt that my granny came back to see me and she was telling me how much she loved me and how proud she was of me, that I was doing so well. And it was so wonderful seeing her, and that sort of thing. And just because you're experiencing all these things does not mean that you should automatically, either A, keep it to yourself because you are scared someone is going to think that you are crazy. It's become a much more open topic to speak about without being laughed at. I mean, people who believe in stuff that can't be seen, they're going to get laughed at. But let's face it, when you really, really think about it, if I'm sitting here now in front of all of you, would you know that I had depression? If you looked at Gary, would you know that he was bipolar? Would you look at Eric and think that he had ADHD and depression? There is no physical sign. When you look at it on the surface is what I mean. There's no physical sign of mental illness, just as there's no physical sign of any of the other things I'm talking to you about. Apart from, chairs moving and things levitating or bricks getting chucked across rooms. I'm talking about the more subtle stuff, like seeing, hearing, touching, smelling, sensing. What about when you go, I'm an empath. I can feel people's emotions. I can, get pushed into a room now, and I will immediately know. I can feel the person who's either feeling very sad, or they're feeling very agitated, or I've got this sort of, I can zoom in on people who just, the balance isn't right. So it's not an automatic thing that you're going to think, well, just because I'm feeling a sense of unease and dread and my heart's beating a bit faster and I feel as if I'm being watched and there's something going on, I'm going mad. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. You could just be haunted. You could live in a haunted house. You could be visiting somewhere that is haunted. That there are spirits who are watching us. And I'm going to leave you with a final thought. You know, all those people who scream at seeing a ghost. Have you ever thought that, you know, if they are a recently deceased person who is puzzled and haven't realised they've died, and they're trying to communicate with us, have you ever thought they might be just as scared of us as we are of them? That's something to think about, isn't it? Well, another half an hour video. Who would have thought? Me trying to not to talk too long. I love you lot. And thank you so much for letting me talk to you again. And I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. And I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now, guys. Bye.